Evangelist Samuel Jao, then the chair. The roles of the committee will be as follows. Find the level of organization in different churches following a template which was to be formed by Elder Kemea and Elder Patrick. They will give a report on that. Find out the groups who may desire to join the mandate by this means. Then inform of churches willing to attend. Inform churches willing to attend the next delegate meeting, which will be called after the report on the information that they were given tonight. Then this committee, the committee that are there, will give a report to another committee that comprises of Wacha Bibilia as the coordinator, Jeffney Kuchieng, the secretary, then Kemei Barnabas as the treasurer. The committee was given a period of 1 month. 1 month, that is the month of November, to come up with a more detailed report, while they will be giving updates every 2 weeks. Yeah, it was also unanimously agreed that the interim committee draft a letter to different churches willing to support the committee in their work. It was also proposed that individuals who are willing to support to be reached. And then it was also proposed that Elder Patrick and Elder Kemei, while making the template on how to collect organization, was to come up with a very short budget. Well, the committee and their work. I think those are the resolutions that we came up with on the yesterday's meeting.
No, maybe to ask, we all agree that those are the resolutions that we had arrived at. Is there some addition? Is there some subtraction? Or is there where kama haijawekwa vizuri? Ningependa kuona mikono ili mweze kuchangia kidogo kabla ya kutoka. Yeah, so
yeah, lakini kwanza tukusoma na kwanzaje, but just have your note, alafu na you note down, alafu utasema hii sehemu kubadilisha hivi, sehemu kubadilisha hivi. Kwanza kuna barua. So we doubted the mind of what was written. Mimi kwa so msigonge ila bado. Lakini barua inasema hivi: the interim committee steps towards organization of the OTG churches coming 20 October 2024 to all OTG churches in Kenya through the elders. 3 steps towards organization. Christian greetings from God the Father and from Jesus Christ His Son, and the 7 angels that stand before them. Brethren sent by churches and brethren on a believer capacity have accepted the invitation to meet at Kakamega County with the prayer of our Lord Jesus Christ for unity as recorded in the 17th chapter of John. This is an acceleration of all past sincere efforts for forging the kind of unity that is envisioned by Christ in His prayer. From the meeting, this interim committee of 3 believers whose work ends when the delegates from the various building churches, committee of 4 believers be formed, collect information on the level of order, organization in all churches
and find the willingness to join other churches in coming together. Two, this working committee to report back their findings to the interim committee by the end of November 2024 for preparation of the possible delegates meeting in December 2024. Three, churches and individual members is asked
hapo mwangaza
Kuna mwangaza nyingi sana.
kama mjana
The protectors. Haina power ya kuweza kuweka hiyo. Ya barua imesomwa, labda kama kuna mahali ya maneno haikuwekwa vizuri. Tuko hapa ili kuchangia. Maana ni wanadamu walidraft. Nasi pia ni wanadamu ambao tumesikia, unaweza pata kuna mahali haijawekwa vizuri, basi unachangia. Pia barua.
Yes, mimi ningesikia vizuri. Kuna mahali ambapo amesoma. There are 3 interim. And then later on akaenda akasoma tena the 4 people elected in the committee. So I don't know, mimi ndio sikuelewa vizuri that these 3 interim, are they mentioned? So it was the one confused in the 4 who are the committees to go around.
The 3 interim
amesoma kitu hapo na sijasikia ikiconnect.
Interim ambao amesoma ya kwanza ni wale waliotuma barua ya kwanza ya kuweza kuita watu kukuja katika mkutano huu. Then tumekaa katika mkutano for application and a committee which is interim to go around and do all that activities.
What's the message simple which we need to have together is there are 2 committees. The letter contains the 2 committees. Number 1 is the interim committee, you, Jeff Nick, and Kenny. And then there is the working traveling committee. Maybe I can get the working traveling committee, which has 4. So it is. We are not going to the back one, just the one to here. Maybe you can read it.
Yeah, because that committee is not.
Just let me read the letter again.
So, from the meeting, this interim committee of 3 believers whose work strictly ends when the delegates from various willing churches shall meet to step up organization was formed. Someone correct me.
ushakorektiwa tayari.
Aje.
Umeambiwa usome vizuri.
From the meeting, this interim committee of 3 believers whose work strictly ends when the delegates from various willing churches shall meet to step up organization was formed.
Yeah, so the one that is writing.
From this meeting which was called,
Yes.
a 3-member interim committee was chosen, whose work is to end when the delegates now from the churches come, so their work ends there. A new committee is chosen.
We need a correction there.
Yeah.
Because that 3 committees will be known, because they're the ones carrying this until the delegates. I think that letter was to contain in the first the interim chair, interim secretary, and interim president. Just as our names have been indicated as the committee going. Is it also in order?
Interim coordinator.
Yeah.
We said we are going to
start meeting. We should avoid chair. So interim coordinator.
Not coordinating chair. Coordinator.
Okay.
But it's chairing, there's nothing to be avoided, because you see, the chair is not bad, even from the pioneers in the beginning. Why are we avoiding the one chair when Bergen is chair of our committee and is rare? So let us not fear these issues, to think that we are going to please mind. If there's a mind not ready for unity, it cannot be pleased by anyone.
Our brother was sleeping yesterday because I think it was anonymously said that coordinator, but it's okay. because now this is the time he can speak. You can put a chair or interim chair. There is no problem, but I think it was a resolution, yesterday's resolution.
Unajua kuna wakati Kenya kulikuwa na presidency moja.
Kama
ulikuwa president wa conference kuna na shida.
Hata kama ni president wa corporation.
Okay. And nimesaisha kidogo. From this meeting, I remember interim committee whose work to the ends was formed. Was elected.
Was formed which I know.
Okay. These are Nakefa, Migiro, interim chair, Jeff Nigochieng, secretary, na wito matatu ni
Barnabas Kimei.
Okay. You treasurer?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm just guessing. Okay. Hapo tumemaliza. I think that is very clear. Thank you for that. Okay. In the meeting, it was resolved that 1, a working committee of 4 believers be formed to collect information on the level of order organization in the all OTG churches and find their willingness to join other churches in coming together.
If you can add the word also, so that see the resolution and G in the meeting it was also. Because already you have spoken of it. It was in the same meeting where this committee was.
Okay. Number 2, this one committee to report back their findings to the interim committee by the end of November 2024 for preparation of the possible delegates meeting in December 2024. Okay. Number 3, churches and individual members to be asked to willingly contribute to the budget for the facilitation of the working committee. And number 4, all believers to be members of the respective local churches. Any comment? Okay. The budget. Situingilie budget basi. Bado imeisha. Okay.
I see the secretary has looked at point number 4. You should freely talk. I see as winked or something. Point number 5.
I was just trying to understand point number 4. You see, you cannot understand just a statement once. So I am still looking at it and getting to understand all believers to be members of the respective local churches. I'm still contemplating on it to understand it better. Yeah.
Tunasema kwamba nikiwa Gashie nisikuwe tu sapa member. Jina langu nibatizwe nikuwe member in the book. No, that's the spirit of that.
That's, yeah, I think we spoke. We're organizing based on churches. And so if you're not a member of a church, then how do you organize? Yeah. And it was also the issue of also traveling evangelists and ministers who you cannot hold to account because they belong to no church. So these, you see the word all there need to be understood in the broader context. That is, if particular traveling minister. I come here to Nandi, I find a radio that was left on the table, I disappear with it. How do you hold me to account? And I'm a senior evangelist who's just traveling.
I think it's clear. It's clear that all the members should belong to at least a local church, a local, for accountability purposes. Ili wakati communication inafanywa, inajulikana huyu ni member ya kanisa fulani, hata kama ni traveling evangelist, I should belong to a given local church.
And if maybe you find someone who is not you must also be very careful. You must be very, very careful. Because I think also we are living in the last days. And if you read the book SOC, page 4, it says that this message will be closed to all churches and only open to to private homes. And also there is Stephen Haskell, when he's speaking, maybe there are so many churches around there which maybe you have never come across, and they are existing as a God in heaven. They are under one church, but now we can just try to from different opinions, our opinions, maybe that these churches are just there. We need to have one church. It's not bad, but we need to understand that also there are many churches around which we have not come across. Probably we are not organizing so that just as the way the government do organization, we are organizing for the purpose of the gospel. If we go to those people and we find them worshiping somewhere, will we tell them that this is not you are not members of the church because you are here, and heaven knows that they are members?
Okay, atakuja kuingia kuinua mkono alafu
That's an interesting question by the evangelist, and we have nothing against any evangelist, but all men are accountable in the church of God. All men, elders, evangelists, and all men. I think the issue that again our brother brought is the issue of the car, but we have agreed. We, in our mind about churches, it is not church 1,000 people. Surely. I think that's why we also spoke about the matter of delegates. If you go and find a home church, what is the duty of this traveling committee? Was it briefed enough? If there's a home church that believes like us, we bring them on board. Was that not very clear? So it is, we are not defining churches as how they register, you must have 20 members. We know the Bible says we are 2 or 3. I gather it's called a family. And I'm sure that family, and then maybe then we have to go back to COD. Have we read about COD and the churches in the mountains? Pale kwa COD. See, that's our book that's guiding us. See, nasema kuna kanisa iko huko and they don't, sometimes even a certain coordinator was sent to look after their affairs. See, those things are in the COD. I don't know why we should not revisit that which is. So, it is in the COD. How do we deal with home churches? For example, we go to Baringo, and there's one family, a family of 2 members who are worshiping in Sibini and Maravini, and another one there at Tiati. Now, the COD has taught us what to do with that, so that we should not come up with maybe certain dangers that have already been addressed. So we are not defining what the church is, but even those are caught in the attention of the COD. I think it's that way.
Asante. Nashukuru kwa nafasi. Kulingana na swala hilo ambalo mtumishi analizungumzia, nafikiri tunahitaji tena kureview hiyo gospel order, maana hakuna sehemu ambayo inayoenda. Sehemu ambayo inafaa kuweza kuzuia ili ya kwamba umoja huu udumu ni ku avoid self-centered messengers. Na wakati fulani Yesu akatuma wanafunzi wake na wakarudi, waliporudi na ripoti wakaambia tulipata wengine wanahubiri kwa jina lako. Tulifanya nini? Yesu akawaambia wasio kinyume chetu wako pamoja nasi. Kwa hivyo yoyote tutakaa kutana na yeye, licha kwamba hatujuani, lakini lile neno nililo nalo ndilo yeye alilo nalo, automatically tumefanya nini? Kwa pamoja. Labda mwingine yuko mahali fulani sio kanisa, hawajakuwa organized kama kanisa. Kuna wale ambao wanapata ujumbe bila kupelekewa, sababu saa hizi internet zinafanya mtu anakuwa specific kufuatilia na anapata ujumbe na anauamini. Wakati ambapo atakutana na yule ambaye ana huo ujumbe, ni kanisa la karibu ambalo lina huo ujumbe, hilo ni kanisa moja na lile. So hatutasema kule ni kanisa hili ni kanisa. Kwa mfano sehemu hii niseme sehemu ya Soi. Jinsi tunavyozungumza kwamba kanisa la Soi. Kanisa la Soi ni kubwa. Kisha kwamba hapa si ndio Soi. Lakini tuna kanisa kule chini, kuna kanisa kule maeneo ya Eldoret, kuna sehemu nyingi ambazo kuna washiriki 2, 3, 5 na ni kanisa. Lakini sote tunapokutana tunaita ni kanisa la wapi? La Soi. So hatuwezi tukasema hao kwa sababu ni 2 sio kanisa. Sote ni nini? Ni kanisa kwa sababu ni nini kimetuunganisha? Ni hiyo imani moja. Hivyo mshiriki yeyote akitoka pale ama mwinjilisi ametoka hapo ambaye ameenda kwingine Injili, si ile kanisa limejua kwamba mshiriki wetu ameenda wapi. Na kule anakoenda watakapouliza wanajua kanisa la Soi kuna uongozi, kuna utaratibu huu wa Injili. Tuulize pale, je, huyu mtu wanamjua? Si kwa sababu
imeandika hivi place of their membership.
That's correct.
That's more yeah. For the purpose of all those who shall belong to this organization.
Okay.
For us to recognize you, we recognize you through your local church.
Tuende kwa budget?
But before you read the budget, then could I speak about it because we prepared the budget? Yeah, the budget, Kefa ametuambia tayari kwamba makanisa yatashughulikia where you come. Maybe if you are coming to Nairobi, tunaambiwa in advance, maybe in a week or 2. That means this committee has an immediate work to prepare, and alert that they're coming. So then we prepare. But already, the box already, nasema kuna yale regions ambao matoleo yao ni kidogo but ni waaminifu. Na tunajua Yesu alisema yule ametoa kidogo kwa uaminifu ameshinda yule ambaye ana nyingi lakini alitoa kwa sababu ni loose change. Sio inaeleweka? So then the budget we are prepared, in budget preparation, there is always looking at the upper side. So when you hear the budget, don't think that this is too much money. So when we're budgeting, we put figures on a higher end. And that's normal, so that you don't end up going to say, you go back to the people. But when you get little, you're still able to work within the you get. So that's the part of all the budget is prepared.
So vile nimefanya tukajigawa Kenya regions that we are kama vile tunafanya pale Western. So if 2 individuals go to coast, what do they have for transport, for food, for their stay, medical lodging, au kuna overall, kuna airtime with the different period, na kuna photocopy for the documents. So again, cost, tunasema transport cost become 6,000. Ndio kutoka hapa tena mpaka Malindi. 6,000 kwa wawili na chakula around 2,000 and kwa kwake 6,000. That is an example. So cost budget could be around 20,000. Uganda Central transport is 3,000. Food 2,000, lodging 6,000. Eastern via transport 3,000, food 2,000, lodging 3,000. Northeastern transport 6,000, food 2,000, lodging 3,000. The rest are just the same for the other business. So in template, hatujajiuliza kwamba je, kuna kanisa Northeastern? We're just now fanya Kenya nzima kwanza. Now that we are here, we're able to trash this. Tuseme hii hawa church ni Northeastern. Tunasema Nairobi what do you require from Nairobi? So this is a template budget. You need to analyze sasa how can we build the funds. And vile Max anasema different places have different what needs and logistics. Na vile tulisema pia wengine wanasema we can come together in one area. Inafanya kazi ni kwa rahisi. So now share you can take us.
Okay, I think I'm not giving guidelines, it's you to give us guidelines. Now the thing is, according to this budget which has been proposed, now I think we have churches in Unaanza hapa na Coast. We have churches in Coast?
Yes.
Yes, they're there. Now we have churches in Central. The churches in, I don't know about Eastern. Eastern?
Yes.
Okay. We have churches in Northeastern.
Now that is where I was. Now answer that.
Yeah.
Answer that.
No, I don't know.
I will answer this.
Nimeuliza kama kunaye. Yes.
God has a people everywhere. But let me reply that.
Yeah.
We don't know them.
But-
So those whom we don't know, I think they'll come and give them. Let me give an example. We went to Manili. You go to Manili, there's a brother who was alifuatilia Ndata from Tandao. It's called Brother Brian TC. A very bright young man in terms of the gospel. Anapenda ukweli kabisa. Na tayari alikuwa ashaanza kujitenga. Sisi tulipofika pale, si akafurahia. So what I think Zadok preached it in the morning. In the science, light poles do what? Repel. But in Christianity, those who have the same faith, kama mtu kweli na imani yako, ukifika hiyo town, atakufurahia. Nini mnafanya? Mkishakutana, mnafanya nini next? Unamwambia bado kama msipuni so that you are in the invisible church. No, you don't do that. What do? Si mnaunganika, unasikia kama amebatizwa, unajua nani alimbatiza. Kama hajabatizwa unamwambia rafiki, kuna ubatizo kwa jina la Yesu ama wenye wanapenda kwa jina la Baba na Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu ni sawa, haina shida. Unambatiza, tunaingia, tunaendelea. So we should not be troubled about
Thank you for that idea. But for now, for the purpose of this meeting, organization goes to those ones we have already known, or those ones whom already have registered their interest. Ndio walikuwa wanatembelewa, because tukisema tuende kila mahali, ndio watu wa Mungu wako kila mahali, lakini hatuwezi tukaenda kila mahali. Hiyo inamaanisha evangelism. How will they know that you have come for them unless you are preaching?
Yes.
So we are not sending this committee to go and preach. They are going to approach those who are already there with this letter, and maybe with the template of correcting some information for the purpose of unity. So, kile ninachosema ni kwamba notice that I don't know any.
But we are sending Njao very soon with other missionaries.
Yeah, wanaenda kwenda
And Patrick also.
I believe Friday, I think there is Western, there is Nyanza, there is Nairobi, there is. Right? So for now, a part I'm not aware of is Northeastern. So I think so the rest is Zipo and okay. So as he's trying to look at that, kuona kama tunaweza jumuisha yote tuone kwa budget yao kwa estimate at how much. But as I said, maybe itakuwa ni vizuri kama sisi hapa ambao tuko hapa tunatoka regions mbalimbali, we go mobilize our people from those regions, so that when these people come, we can meet somewhere. Natangaza siku ya kwenda kukutana mahali, wanakuja wanatukuta hapo, they correct the information there, and then they can go back with the information.
Allow me to say something.
We
are not in meetings mahali. Probably, I don't know. Now you need to be very clear. Is it in a church we just the committee just come and maybe you say we are meeting in a certain hotel or a playground or besides the river or in a cave. Because ukisema mahali kuna hatari.
A church has somewhere to meet. A church can meet under a tree. A church can meet alongside the river. A church must not have a structure like this one to be called a church. I think all of us agree to that. Yeah. Mahali hapo wanaabudu, watakapojiweka tayari watawadirect jinsi ya kukutana pamoja nao.
Yaani njoo wangetaka kwa upendo.
Na unajua hiyo yani kwa kanisa at least we are in a church. Yeah. This is not mahali. So I think kama umeandika hivyo hapo
watakutana kwa kanisa mahali wanaabudu. Yeah.
And chair, I think that is risky. You say mahali wanaabudu. If that day, Satan is working. Na ukipatia roho mtu aende kuleta mambo. Anasema ati barua ilisema wakutani mahali wanaabudu. That could mean their regular place of. So you see, the church is free to meet anywhere. So long as any acceptable place by God, the church should not go and meet in a bar. But if that day wanakwambia hata tulikuwa tunapatana hapa Uhuru Park chini ya mti na tumeitana wote wa Nairobi. Yeah, so that it's quite. Kwa nini mpatana gashi? Tutakuwa parliamentary parliament. That's all the location of the city. So be careful about that.
You understand?
Thank you so much. I was saying in Nyanza, I don't think we can meet in one place. It is too far.
Nyanza has got serious regions. Kuna South Nyanza, kuna ile ingine kwa side ya Siaya. Are we together? So you cannot call people from Siaya all the way to maybe Rongo. No. So we can talk of South Nyanza, which can maybe involve Homa Bay and maybe Migori. And then we can talk of the other side, Kisumu and maybe Siaya, or Siaya alone, because Siaya is very far again from Kisumu. So we can have something like 3 regions because of the distance, proximity. Yeah. Yes, brother.
Nilikuwa nasema kwa ajili ya tunawapatia mwezi mmoja. Ingekuwa ni vizuri yale makanisa ambayo tunayajua yanakiri hapo, ili wanapoondoka sasa wanajua wanaenda mahali fulani. Sababu wanasema hata ukisema one man tuende kama huo kwetu sasa, sema mkuja kwanza kwa hiyo kanisa. Kwa ni vizuri nisema kwamba
churches
tunaweza kufanisha kwa sehemu mbili na hiyo tunamaliza kwa siku moja. So tuseme sote sehemu moja na sehemu ile sasa ijulikane vizuri.
Asante. So makanisa yamechorwa hapa yale ambayo yako represented already na yale ambayo atakuwa represented of course yataendelea. Ikiwa tutaenda na let us go as ambassadors. Ndio? Tuende kama ambassadors. Ikiwa kuna kanisa ambao unalijua liko hapa, tafadhali nenda kawaambie iko kitu kama aina hii. Ungependa nanyi mjumuishwe ama mtembelewe. Ikiwa watakubali, basi hiyo kamiti itajulishwa na itafanya safari pale. So I think that is it.
Swali langu good example is Nyanza. Nyanza utahitaji siku ngapi? Are we discussing that right now or later? Because that is going to determine the budget.
Yeah. Let those be handled.
But the logistics will determine the budget. So Nyanza can be 5 days, Central can be 3 days, Coast can be 2 days. None of you are voting. But uzuri vile tunasema, if that region is going to work on its budget, it's hard. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yale mnazungumzia kama Baringo kwa headquarter, niko na watu wachache ambao tumefungua hapo. Na kutoka hapo unaenda 30 kilometers tena unapata wengine. Alafu kutoka hapo kwenda side ya west, hiyo east unaenda 30. Ukienda upande wa west unaenda 60 kilometers unapata wengine. Alafu kutoka tena mahali liko unaweza enda 150 kilometers. Pia ndio Pokot East Siati na wako na kanisa wamejengewa. Alafu kutoka tena hapo kuna mahali ninaenda kitu kama 140 tena makanisa mengine iko hapo. Sasa unaona kama ni Baringo, si ya kwamba ati ni siku moja. Na kukutanisha hiyo watu kwa means ya transport tena inakuwa
hizo sasa ni mbalimbali. Unajua huyu watu tunakutanisha makanisa ambayo yako karibu, ambayo yana wakati mwingine yanakutananga kwa ajili ya ibada kama Soi. Are we together? Soi hapa iko na makanisa, kuna kanisa inatoka huko Kimungu, kuna kanisa inatoka wapi, wanakuja wanashiriki hapa. Kwa sababu tomorrow is here. Alright? And itakuwa hata vizuri hii Soi area kumalizana na hiyo data yao mchukue hapa. Are you together? So that at least mjue mmepata maybe nani na maana washiriki wao watakuwa hapa kesho, si ndio? Pacha nani na wapi?
Ukisimama
Yes.
sasa ujue kama kwetu sasa kuna mahali ukienda usitarajie pata loji. Utalala nje.
Sasa challenges si kwamba unatishiwa, lakini hiyo ndio ukweli, si ndio? That's the truth in the ground. So members will be going there. People tawala. Bali tuwapepe sleeping bag, alafu unakuja kuwachukua. Alright? Mtakuwa mnatembea na wao ili muweze kubariki hiyo data pamoja. Yeah, asante. Nashukuru kwa kusaidia. So yes.
Chairman, for me, ili tutoke kwa hiyo jina ni rahisi. Once we have a point man kwa hiyo region, naanze homework, this will finish, we can do the next agenda. Sababu ataanza kufanya homework saizi, ataanza kuangalia, so hata by lunch time au by afternoon, ashakupatia general overview. Tutaendelea na kazi hiyo.
I'm seeing a situation whereby this brethren who will be going around, they require means of transport. Something like they need a motorbike to use
in certain regions.
Yeah, because especially regions kama hiyo ya Elda Allah ameongea chako ni kwamba hapo sasa kuoperate there itakuwa ni challenge kubwa sana kama mtakuwa na chombo cha kusafiria.
Those are logistics. They'll be addressed.
Okay. Alafu kuna ile ni kama survey questionnaire.
Yeah.
I wish kwa na hiyo lakini sawa. So
tayona hata kama ni jioni lakini itasoma tu.
Lazima kwa WhatsApp unaweza angalia.
Yeah.
So ni survey inasema survey on the level of order of OTG churches in Kenya. Organization based on 1889 fundamental principles. So kuna table, kuna columns. So ikija kwangu kwa example, column number 1 is church location, where are we? Number of baptized members, andika. Number of Sabbath school members, andika. Elders names, letter A, letter B, letter C, letter D. Deacons names, deacon A, deacon B, deacon C. Deaconesses names, deaconess A, deaconess B, deaconess C. Are tithes and offerings collected? Yes or no? Ministers supported from tithes on a monthly basis. Minister A, Minister B, Minister C. Regularity of administration of the ordinance. Pasaka quarterly. Atujai kula mwaka mzima. Then the last column, meetings of the church. What kind of meetings does this have? Apart from Sabbath, which other one do you have? Now midweek, tuko na business meeting and so that was the template ambayo inafaa kutumika watu wa hiyo kitu kikundi kienda chini. Sijui kama kuna kitu tumesahau kuongeza kwa hiyo template.
Yeah, from the template we are going to know if the local church is organized or no, or not. Because if it's not organized, then it has to be organized. You cannot say we want to organize at the national level, come locally we are not organized. That will be bringing another disorganization. For sure, who do you deal with from a given local church? So the local church has to be organized. But if it does nothing like that, then it has to, those brethren who are going down, I think watakuwa na kibarua ya kuweza kuona kwamba kanisa hiyo kama itakuwa tayari ku organize, then they can do the work of organization. Yes.
I want to talk about the minister. And that on that line, the churches have failed, totally failed. You know, we inquire about the minister in a church which he was 2 years ago. But if you can follow what we are calling here the gospel order, the minister, you need to know the faithful of the minister, not from the church he was 1 year ago, but from the church he was last Sabbath or 2 Sabbaths ago. And that is why we are killing God's work. And I think we need to go and dig deep from the gospel order, not only when it's on your favor, but when it is working according to God's will. We can just go and look at the story of Paul. Most of the time, Paul did not work with the regular lines, but he was connected. And today, we are shying away from that. Because I go to a church which maybe a minister was 1 year ago, or 3 months ago, or 4 and 6 months ago. That is where I'm going to inquire about a minister. How do you see this minister? A minister is supposed to, the last Sabbath, the last church he was. That is where we need to inquire about the faithful of the minister. How has this minister been? Is he a faithful minister? What did he teach according to Bible or fable? That is when now you realize this minister is a minister of God or not. So we need to be careful even as we are bringing gospel order on that line.
So unachangia point gani?
Hiyo tu ya kumbuka tulikuwa tumeongea juu ya nini
template ya correct data.
Hiyo. I think that one is
where am I need to learn?
You nasema even if as we will be going there, I think those are some of the issues we'll bring down, because also we want to know who is a minister ambaye anafanya kazi hapa ama minister ambaye anakujanga hapa. So because ni kitu ambayo sasa itakuwa nini, those are the things ambazo nadhani zitaanza pia zitaanza kuangaliwa on the same. Ama nilikuwa out of nini.
I think elder is addressing it, whereby the delegates organize how will the ministers be welfare be taken care of, how shall their families be looked at, how shall they be held accountability for discipline, all those things. So maybe
you see hapa.
You will give us tasks that will be questioned to nianzie nani ametupa hiyo kazi. We are disorganized. We are trying to be organized.
Hakusikia because it was not read that ministers will be. It was only read that is that being paid and is it paid to work. That was the question. It was not to ask ministers what those ones were in there. So I think that is it. Yeah.
It's okay.
Is to know if the church is giving tithes. Do they have ministers who are receiving the pay from this tithe? That is it.
Now that question there, by the way, like in our region, we have an organization working, and the tithes, most churches have to treasury and so I don't know. That question there, so that church, the Lord will be going to local churches. Already we have organization with the membership, we have all those things we have in the organization level. But now this one is going to go to local team. These churches now they will be
feeling that they've been sending theirs to the
They give tithes, yes.
Yes.
They have ministers who are being paid.
If they are aware.
If they are aware, of course.
If they are
It's
not,
just
then-
taking a sima mwingine. Niona mkono pale kwa ndugu.
Ni labda kwa sababu labda nimechelewa kidogo, sijapata kukamata mambo mengi na nimeogopa sana kuingilia kuuliza kwa sababu narudisha watu nyuma labda, na hiyo ndio inakuwa madhara pia kuchelewa labda. Kuna watu watatembea katika maeneo tofauti tofauti, sehemu za ibada, wakicollect information. So vile ambavyo labda hiyo imesomwa ndio kitu anaenda kucollect ama kuna kitu kingine?
Hiyo ni information ambao wanaenda kuchukua kutoka kwa makanisa. Ambayo tuliona kwamba hatutakaa hapa tuweze kusema sasa hebu andika washiriki ambao wako kanisa yako and so on. So tunataka kuthibitisha kwamba hii ni kweli, kuna kanisa eneo fulani na iko na washiriki kiasi fulani na wako na elders, wako na nini. So tunajua the elders are organized church, so a report is kept ili kwamba wakati tutakuwa na mkutano wa delegates, a letter will be written, a specific letter to a given church specifying the number of delegates who are supposed to come to that delegates meeting. For the number of delegates, actually that is one of the points we're supposed to discuss here. J, for a given church, kulingana na ile kiwango ya washiriki wake, inafaa kutuma delegates wangapi? Yes, ratio ya delegates to membership ya kanisa. So ndio maana wanasumbuka waweze kuhakikisha kwamba hii iko hivi. Na kama kuna kama itakuwa ni elders council, watu wanakuja hao ambao wamesumbuka, wameona kwamba kanisa fulani, a kanisa from maybe a Tago has got 3 elders. Unaona? So when we having something like an elders council, hao wameenda wamejua kwamba hao elders wana exist. So when we sit katika kikao kama hiki, alafu tunapata mtu ametoka ina barua kutoka kikao kama manelda at Tago, so we can be able to know.
Sawa, na ni nzuri, lakini nilikuwa na vitu tu ambavyo nilikuwa naangalia labda. Ili kuwa na organization, naamini kwamba kuna kitu kinaitwa tunaunganishwa na ukweli. Sasa wakati tumeanza kuchukua hiyo data, ni already tayari tunaelewana. But kuna vitu, mfano nimesikia deaconess, nikasikia ubatizo kwa jina la Yesu, ubatizo kwa jina la Mungu, vitu kama hizo. Kuna vitu vimefanya wengine hawajahudhuria kwa sababu ya issues kama hizo. Na walitarajia labda those are the issues, wale watu wanapoenda kukutanika pale they will tackle, yani wanakuja na kitu kimoja. So wakati watu wanatoka hapa tayari wanaenda kuchukua data na jambo kama lile halijakuwa addressed, kidogo kunakuwa na bado utata. Sasa hiyo ndio mara mingi nilikuwa najiuliza, kwa sababu unajua mambo kama hayo. Kwa mfano penye mimi nimetoka kama Nakuru, of course sijasikia hapo ikitajwa, lakini sasa wahusika wajakuwa na tumefika, lakini so tuko na waumini pale na tumefundishana doctrine kadha wa kadha. Lakini katika hiyo movement kuna kanisa Soi, kuna Eldoret, lakini Eldoret wanavesa kwa jina la Yesu. Na pia nilipokuwa na kwa hiyo group, kuna mtu amezungumzia deaconess. So vitu kama hizo kwa Nakuru wanajua ubatizo kwa jina la Baba, Mwana na Mtakatifu. Kwa hivyo mimi nikitoka hapa na information yenyewe kwamba Nakuru kuna watu tutatembelewa, wanauliza kwanza, maana tulishafundisha hatuwezi ruhusu kuingia kwa movement wakati ambapo doctrine hatukubaliani. So watauliza na wamekuja mlikubaliana aje? Kwa hivyo kutakuwa na maswali. Tulifundisha hivi lakini wenye wanakuja yenye kinaenda ambazo mnaona haziko sawa, vitu kama hizo, lakini information iko hapo ni tofauti, so niwekwe sawa katika hiyo sehemu.
Asante kwa swali nzuri. Ni kwa sababu labda umekuja ukiwa umechelewa.
Ni kweli.
Ukweli ni kwamba katika huu mkutano ulikuwa ni kuweka miundo misingi katika kuanzisha hii unit ama umoja wa makanisa haya ya One True God Movement. Ni kwamba tulionelea hivi katika kikao hiki kwamba hatutaanza kudiscuss mambo ya doctrines ama mambo ya imani hapa. Kwa sababu gani? Bado utapata kwamba tuko na misimamo zetu, tutaanza kufutana, even before we unite tutakuwa tumebreak. So ni kwamba tukasema hold on to your own beliefs and doctrines and various ways jinsi tunavyoamini, mpaka wakati ambapo hiki kikao kitakuwa official. Unajua hata sasa haijakuwa official. Sawa? Wale walioita hata watu hawakujua, because kuna wengine watu kuja kwa sababu waliuliza huyo mwenye ameandika barua ametualika kama nani? Naona swali kama hilo. Lakini sisi kwa kweli kama mwili wa Yesu tunahitaji kuwa pamoja ili kujibu ombi la Yesu Kristo. Wawe wamoja. Sasa tunawezaje kuwa wamoja? Muda utatengwa na hiyo ni baadaye. Sasa hao wanazunguka ili kuweza kujua kweli nyinyi ni One True God Movement Church. Si ndio? Ili tusikuje kuweka kanisa lingine ambalo labda ni kanisa ama ni watu tu kikundi ambacho kimeundwa kwa ajili ya kuja kupiga hiyo organization. Unaona? Tuanze kudiscuss hapa na kumbe huku mahali unatoka hata hakuna kanisa. Wewe umekuja tu kama individual, umetumwa kuja kupiga mawe hapa, kurusha mawe tusambaratike. So ni kuzunguka kwanza. You are One True God Movement Church, correct? Now, sasa hii information ambayo inasanywa ni kwa sababu ya kuweza kujua kwamba hawa tuweza ungana, hawa tuweza ungana, lakini bado si kwa sababu ya kuja kuamua hiyo. Maana wakati wamezunguka na kucollect hiyo data imekuja. Kama kikundi ambacho kamati ambayo imechaguliwa itaona sasa hawa watumie barua sasa tukutane. Barua ya nini? Kuna mkutano wa kufanya nini? Wa kuweza kutuleta pamoja. Huu mkutano utafanyika tarehe fulani. Tunaomba kulingana na kikundi kilichowatembelea, kwa sababu members wenu ni 10, tulikubaliana kwamba mtupe delegates wawili na tafadhali wakuje na barua kutoka kwa kanisa. Tunaelewana? So watakuja. So we'll be knowing sasa watu tuko na wao hapa katika kikao hiki. They are members ambao ni elders ama ni deacons ambao wamepewa uweza na kanisa kurepresent kanisa. Hapo katika mkutano huo wa delegate sasa ndio sasa itaenda kuzungumzia mambo mengi juu ya way forward. Hapa tuwezi tukazungumza juu ya way forward. Kwa mfano, wakati bado tumefika hapo, umoja huo ukiwa umekuwa proposed, sasa ndio tutachagua sasa kamati mbalimbali. Kamati ya kwenda kushughulikia mambo ya doctrine. Kamati ya kwenda kushughulikia mambo ya elimu. Ni nini tumetuleta hapa? Kama wana matengenezo, watu imani moja ya Mungu mmoja. Hatuna mashule mahali pa kuchukua watoto wetu. Hatuna mahospitali. Hatuna publishing houses. So we need to have these things in place. So wakati tunaendelea kufanya hivi, lazima tuchague sasa. Tukichagua kamati ya kushughulikia kama ni publishing, we are sure these are members from a given church, it's the share. Are we together? Huyu ni member kutoka kanisa fulani. Kuna official maana kuna barua. Akiwa appointed kwa kamati, tunajua hiyo kamati ndio. Basi tulikuwa na hoja kama hiyo hapa ya kuweza kuchagua makamati. Lakini tukagundua kwamba bado ile constituent ya members ambao wamekaa katika mkutano huu haijajulikana. Are they official? Makanisa yapo? Are they members of churches? Now, unaweza chagua mtu kumbe, vile nimekwisha kusema tayari, kumbe amekuja, amejituma ama ametumwa, enda kafuruge. Enda kalete kitu fulani. Alafu watu pato tumeanza kutea wana nada. Tumeanza kulaguana, tutoke hapa tukiwa hatuna kitu. Sisi tumetoka hapa tukiwa tunajua kwamba wacha watu watembee, watuletee information kwamba kuna makanisa yako tayari kuungana. Hatujaungana bado brother Tonali. Bado ni miundo msingi tunaweka. Maana wakati akuja kusaini ile kuungana, maana lazima tutakuwa na document ya kusaini kwamba nimekubali kuungana. Itakuwa imechukua muda. We need some form of what? Organization ndio tuanze kusoma. Ndio maana hata tumeweka interim committee. Hiyo ni form of organization. Ili kwamba ile kamati ya kutembea ikimaliza i-forward information yao. Ndio barua ziandikwe. Otherwise kama tutakuwa na kitu kama hiyo watamaliza kuzunguka au waanze tunapana nani? Tunaenda wapi? Tunafanya nini? What follows after? So bado hatujaungana. Mtu anaweza sema kwamba are we going to unite with people who believe the opposite of what I believe? Hiyo swala iliibuka pia, maana kuna wenye walisimama wakasema, hey, naweza ungana na mtu ambaye anakataa labda huduma ya malaika. Naweza ungana na mtu ambaye labda anakataa ubatizo wa jina la Yesu, anasema lazima ikuwe jina la fulani. So tukasema hiyo wacha ikae kidogo. Hiyo ni mambo ya doctrine. Na hata tuliweza kupata kutoka Spirit of Prophecy kwamba uanzilishi wa kanisa letu kabla waungane kabisa, organization 1963. Hapa nyuma miaka nyingi walikuwa na form of organization. They were not working from nowhere. Walikuwa with a form of organization ambao walikuwa wanaenda nayo. Wakiendelea kustudy doctrines mpaka wakafikia mahali wakastoa sasa 1872 ndio wakataa formal fundamental belief ili kuweza kujulisha wale wako nje kwamba hii ndio tunayo amini. So we are repeating the history of our pioneers. We are using that history. So we must have a form of organization. Tukisonga mbele hatua kwa hatua. Tutakapofika mahali pa doctrines, inamaanisha mikutano fulani itakuwa inaitishwa ili tuweze kuwekana sawa katika mambo fulani. Jinsi ambavyo umesaidia mambo kidogo pale.
Just addition here. I think we agreed that we are uniting under fundamental principles. We are not just uniting. Even these churches we are going around, I don't think we are going to the churches of peacekeepers. We say that unless I need to understand because I'm in that committee. We are not going to the church of peacekeepers from Maranatha Media. We are not going to the churches of loner servants. Because those are fundamental principles. Fundamental principles, but these minor points of doctrine, like mambo ya deaconess, mambo ya jina la Baba, Mwana na Roho, na jina la Yesu. In fact, our fundamental principle is that somebody must be baptized into the truth of one true God and His Son, and it is immersion. So, in what form of words? Those ones, I think tonight you have been reading, and you know that it is delegates conference that can discuss a doctrine in the churches. How? How do we discuss doctrines when we don't have a forum to? I think the book of Acts is very clear. But when there were issues discussing the churches organized, then elders and apostles and the deputies of elders met in Jerusalem to discuss those issues, and then they wrote letters to their churches. And then their churches now are not to be, though others did not agree, but again, delegate conference, God gave the supreme authority. So I think that is the way forward. We have a fundamental principle, bring us together. If somebody do not believe in 2300 days and you want to bring him, then that is a fundamental, that is salvation. But issues of deaconess, hii ndogo, mara mtu anafaa asivae like chairman amevaa tukutuku mbele, wengine wanataka hiyo ni yeye. Wengine try Trinity. Those ones, when we meet and then we will say, sure, we can this one, then we will write on it. So I think when we read clearly, we cannot solve all doctrines when we don't have a forum of delegates. I think that is what is the book of Acts, and we discuss it. But what is bringing us together now is fundamental principles of 1870 to 1889. And then other these ones will be delegated and we will write a letter to the churches. That please watu wa nani, hii kitu tulipokutana, this is it. And the letters will go to all churches, and others will still not accept.
ni sawa. But when people agree and write a letter, then that is what we will go with. But if you want to solve all things, tukimalizana 28-19 jena la nani na nyingine itakuja. Sasa ni tumeagree batizo, lakini hii deaconess tena tuachane. Tukimaliza hiyo youth alikuwa ordained as a deacon, ni kweli hajaoa wengine, hiyo tunawachana. Then tutaachana mpaka lini na Yesu anakuja. So I think that is why we are living together based on fundamental principle. And Chairman, you say this meeting has no way forward. I think that one is a slip of tongue. It has way forward. That is a way forward. And the way forward is we have office, and the office is interim, going around to do that, to move this and bring people together in December. And then the delegates will do all those things. And then letters will be written to the churches. And I think we will have a perfect unity. But we are not going to keep as churches.
Asante sana. The meeting has a way forward. Kama nilisema it does not have a way forward, then I think that is a slip of the tongue. Thank you for correcting me. Niona Dadika anatangulia kuinua mkono na kaongea.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. Let me disabuse my friend of one thing, that issues to do with doctrines are not minor things. In fact, it's the only important thing that that it should be very important amongst us going forward. I've tried to listen keenly from when I came until now, and I think this is what I heard from yesterday, because I made a phone call to one person who was around, and I tried to understand what this meeting is all about, because I was invited actually, and I could not make it for the past 2 days. That's why I was trying to understand how this meeting is progressing. And I got an assurance that it's a good meeting, because it's bringing one through God believers together. So what I want to say actually is that the basis of this unity is mending the doctrines. It should be about mending the doctrines, because the unity that we are required to have is that unity which Jesus prayed for in the book of John 17, that we should be one, like he is one with who? With the Father. You know, there are two kinds of unity. There is what we call ecumenism, and there is true unity, whereby we unite around doctrines and we all have one mind. Yeah, you know, ecumenism is if we are not careful, then we are going to slip into ecumenism. If we are not careful, ecumenism is about finding a point of doctrine that we all agree with. Then we come together, and everybody continue believing what they believe in their own house. But that one point of doctrine brings us together. That's ecumenism, and that's not a true unity. A true unity is whereby all doctrines are supposed to be unified through beliefs that are supported in the Bible. And that should be how we are going to proceed from now, from when we are ready, until when now we reach a place where you can now say, like where the Bible described the disciples when they were about to receive the Holy Spirit, that there was no difference between any of them. They were one with God and they were one with one another. Are we together?
Yes.
So another thing that that I want to emphasize is like slipping away. Something else. There's something that was very important.
As you think about it,
okay, let me say it.
Supporting.
Let me say it. It was about the issue that the brother raised. I think I concur with him 100%, because in our different churches we have taught different doctrines because we come from different churches. We've taught different doctrines. So the point that my brother tried to raise is that as the committee moves, as the committee goes to these meetings, how are they going to identify themselves or to introduce themselves? How are they going to introduce themselves in a way that they can be accepted to be to be in that meeting. And that's why now we come back to the point of doctrines, because there are those members who will say, unaamini nini? Unasema mimi naamini hivi na hivi. No story nation. Umeona? It's as serious as that. Umeona? That's why in this meeting we are supposed to agree. I said something which is very important, that we unite. I know you discussed that one. We are supposed to unite around the fundamental principles, and it should be as serious as that. What does the fundamental principle say? Come on. So that as we go forward to the churches, we stick to the fundamental principles of 1872 up to 1889. I think I have the one for 1872. So that we create a kind of a uniformity, and we have a supporting document whereby we can go and have we can go to those meetings and have confidence of the members to teach, introduce yourselves, and try to have a wedge point to bring to end and to try to bring this unity that we are seeking. So it should not be a cosmetic affair, it should be a serious affair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think wacha tujue hivi kama wacha ijulikane hivi na ni kitu ambacho tunaelewana hapa. We are not going to make an ecumenism. Sindio? We are all accepted that the unity will be based on doctrines. We have to, two cannot work together unless they agree. But you cannot say we have to wait until when we agree, that's when we start working together. There are some things you can be working together as you for modalities of agreeing on what you believe. That was the argument.
I think probably the two brethren were not here yesterday. And I just request, for the sake of not, for the sake of us not giving our own report now, maybe probably you are saying this because you have been asked. You stand and maybe you talk something which is might also bring a lot of more questions than the answers. I just pray, or I just plead with the people who are around here. Maybe you allow them to go to the secretary. I think the question they are asking was addressed yesterday, Sindio? So by us now trying to elaborate what we are trying to say, at least it is written down, they can be guided, and maybe by reading they can now understand and know what was agreed yesterday on the questions they are asking. That will help.
Thank you. I think if they are interested, let me say this. I do not any secret organization we're making here. Are we together? This is an open organization before the Lord. Hatuna kitu ya siri hapa ambayo tunataka kufanya. We are welcoming everybody of positive thinking aweze kuwa part of us. Now, if, I'm not invaluable. Are you together? If you think you're invaluable, then I think you are not fit here. Ama namna gani? It's only God who is invaluable. So according to doctrines, differences that we have, we had said something. So hizi vitu zitataipiwa zote, and if you want to go through, you can go through and accept with them or differ with them. And when a letter comes to your church requesting if you can agree for people to come, you should be the person at the forefront to say, wasifanya nini? Wasikuja hapa kwa sababu ya ABCD. We are very open. Sisi hatuungani usiku wala katika njia ya fiche. Ndugu Patrick, naona mkono wako uko juu kwa muda mrefu.
Shalom. Shalom. And I wish Brother Zadok was here. Listen, because this brother, I don't know if you know.
My name is Duncan Kichurchir.
Duncan.
I come from Zio.
Thank you, my dear brother. You are raised on a very serious point. The chair has gone out again, and I did to no, the question that was posed by Tornado. Yes. The question that has been posed by Tornado, you have replied to it. And also, Brother Tornado is recording the meeting. And I work for government, and when meetings are, where we actually, you're actually supposed to say whether you need to be recorded or not. But we are Christians. So personally, when people speak when recorded, they speak differently. there's that effect of the recording itself. So, but me, I will try to speak as the record is going on and to try to speak the truth as God will give me. Our brother has asked us in reacting to our brother Maxwell, our brother has spoken, if you remember well, what he has gone back to Zadok's first statement. If you recall, he has gone back to the original issues of Zadok, and that's why I'm sad Zadok is not here. Because he has taken us to the original place, which we said no. So now let's proceed this way. But this brother has reminded us, as we seek for unity, please, I will remind us as we live here, mark what Zadok said carefully, and mark what the brother has repeated, and they were not, I'm sure they have not called each other. These two have not called, Zadok has not spoken to this brother, and this brother has not spoken to Zadok. But they have spoken the fundamental issues. And I know sometimes, as a chair, you face a very difficult situation when a question is asked. Because Brother Tonado can really be direct, and I thank God for that. He has asked very direct questions. And to be very honest, because we are called to be very honest. The issues which Brother Tonado has raised, which Zadok has raised, which our brother Daniel, right, has raised, we shelved them. Remember that. And why did we shelve them? I would like to bring that to the attention of the chair, why we shelved them. Those whom we expected to be here that had issues of such nature were not here. Okay? I want us to understand very well, so that we know what resolutions we have here. And I know Brother Njao has told us the resolutions there. So we need to understand, for the benefit of Tonado and the benefit of Brother Daniel, is that the resolutions here, and I want to be very sincere, the chair could help me, are of those who are persuaded in all things, save minor points of opinion. And I want to go with Daniel very careful. Duncan. The minor points of doctrine we are dealing with here is, do you want to blacken brown shoes? Because Sister White said shoes must be blackened before Sabbath begins. Those are the minor issues. Do you know for sure?
The only shoes that were available by them was black shoes.
Thank you, Brother Duncan. You get me. So easily shut up someone. So you're trying to balance. But the truth is that he really was trying to say, those who are here at this point, after Kina Tonado didn't show up on time, but I know he had an excuse, he was in a meeting, and that was a valid excuse. He knows it. The Lord knows whether it is valid or not. I don't know. Duncan, who perhaps has different opinions, could have shared them. So on Wednesday, those of different opinions were not here. On Thursday, they were not here. On Friday, actually by Sasita, this meeting was, actually the truth be told, this meeting is ended. With the same idea, with the thought that those who have different opinions, who were invited in good faith, have not showed up. They have not sent apologies. Perhaps Brother Tonado alone tried to say he's away and he will show up. When he will show up, we wouldn't know. If Brother Tonado had come on Wednesday, or you brother had come on Wednesday, and have raised these issues, it will be very serious. It will change the whole meeting. So the meeting changed when those whom we expected have, for example, they're saying, we're organizing based on 1889, but we reject fundamental principle number 9. For example, there are those who say, when they read fundamental principles of 1889, we see other things. So when those didn't show up, so those that are agreed here, I'll tell you the truth, I want to be open to you, that they are agreed. On the matters of baptism, they have not quarreled. On the matters 25-20, they have not quarreled. They know they are standing with 2,300 days as the longest time prophecy according to principle number 9 of 18. But then, as we go out, this committee goes out. I don't know whether we want to expand their mandate to visit. You see, you overheard what Brother Maxwell was saying.
Yes.
He is not going to visit this committee, and maybe that's the only thing now we need to clarify. Now that we are clear, Brother Tonado, we are not discussing doctrine at this point, because doctrine will have been discussed if those who have different opinion had showed up on Wednesday, and showed up on Thursday, even if they had shown up Thursday night, we could have better. But now, by Sasita, tumemaliza mkutano. Now they have heavy issues in their hearts. They have issues about deaconesses, whether they're in the church or not. And they have a position, they have started from the Bible, they have started from the spirit of prophecy, they have started from pioneers, that they are holding to, there should be no deaconesses. Then we also must want to go to the Bible today and try to discuss. That will be at another forum. So I think that needs clarity so that we don't start a back and forth that will not bless us. Thank you.
Asante ndugu kwa hivyo. Naona
Nashukuru mwenyekiti. I think it is also good to set the motive of the meeting. The reason why we had it that where doctrinal issues can be canvassed. That is what we had agreed.
Yeah.
It only depends on the spirit with which we take that. But there are also procedures on how to deal with that, like a delegate meeting is organized and then the doctrinal issues are harmonized. And therefore, they should not be with a spirit like you are not taken care of as far as the issues we are raising were concerned. So we had conversed on that and we had agreed. If we agreed to forge forward, sorry to say, because I had given some certain examples, like some other groups have had to speak regularly simply because of the way we presented certain issues and doctrinal matters. And we said, we are very sad for that. We wish that would not be repeated again. But a better forum can be quickly addressed, and therefore we are not closing a door for anything, even on doctrinal issues. That's what we had said earlier. Yeah.
Thank you. Ni kwamba haya mambo yote tuliweza kuyaangalia, tuliweza kuendelea kuchukua mwelekeo huu kwa sababu ya kuona kwamba hakukuwa na yeyote ambaye labda alikuwa na pingamizi kwa jambo fulani, lakini kama kungekuwa bado kuna mwelekeo ambao ungechukuliwa, lakini mtazamo ambao tulikuwa nao ni kwamba mambo ya doctrinal issues we share them until when committees will be made and the delegates shall be called to talk about those matter of doctrine, as we continue moving together as a unity. I think that is what was agreed upon.
I don't have anything new, but just to read what has been said. This is what was discussed. And I want just to read what was written, because people were discussing. And we came to realize that members who were present in the meeting believe the same one, the same thing. Then another brother raised an issue according to the letter that called people to the meeting and assumed that all were present. And information was given that attendance confirmation was done, and the following confirmed that they were not coming. Number one, we have SPCR. Number two, we have present truth, loud cry. By this, it was confirmed that those who were present in the meeting believe the same thing, except that two brothers for whom we know their case. Then it continues by saying, another elder suggested that we need clarity on what to discuss, since the intention of the meeting was not met, and hence suggested that when members present in the meeting believe were one faith, then we were to seek for unity and come up with another way to seek for unity with the members who were not present. It was secondary, and we proceeded to come up with the committee that you're now talking about. So that is what happened in the meeting that our brothers were not present in. That is why we have, because the issue of doctrines came up, and it was resolved that this meeting get a committee, seek for unity. Then we will also see another forum on how to discuss on what doctrines. So I think when minutes shall be shared, then people will get clear information about it.
Nafikiria maswali yamejibiwa. Just kuna another item naona ndugu ambaye sitamkipa ananionyesha kwamba time imeisha. It's okay.
Kwa nini namwangalia?
All right, thank you. So let's move ahead and maybe finish from what he was to present, so that we can tuchukue vote kama tuna accept yao maneno ama tunayaongezea ama tunayakubali. Ndio mko mbali.
Kisha nashukuru. Unajua nimesikiza mpaka kama Wanaisraeli wamekuwa mpaka nimeshindwa. We are in step 1, lakini tuangalie ile document ambayo inaenda kwa makanisa, si ndio? And we are doing well, so we having clarity. Bila furahi. This clarity. Kuna kitu nimefikiria hii form ikienda naandika yule ambaye amejaza, viewing feedback, kujua nani amejaza. Unajua kuna mtu akifanya survey, kuna ile ni anonymous unaweza kujaza hivi ili mtu cannot trace it back. Mtu research anasema sababu we just want your opinion. Lakini hii we are able to say kwamba it was say church, this is the elder, this is the telephone number. So that when unapomwita kwa ile mkutano, you already have that information. Sio kwamba unasema we have 20 churches, lakini tunasahau huyu jamaa tukana msao namba yake. So my opinion ni kuongeza kitu hapo chini, the contact person in that. So name of church, county, sub-county, contact person. Alafu chini pia, is there any comment? So whoever has a comment, sisi ingawa tuko hapa kwa hii, let me to discuss this. That's just a comment. It can be any comment, any yoyote. So hapo chini ya, that is my proposal.
Chair, I want to second that. I think that was the oversight on our part. Revelation chapter 1, the letters were written through the elders. So, and when we read together with the COOD, where there is no elder, there is a coordinator until elders and deacons are in place. So then it can be elder stroke coordinator. So let's use the things that are in the COOD.
So, bado ningependa pia kama unaweza
anything, kuna maswali ambayo tumeacha ambayo yanafaa kuulizwa. Kwa hiyo
there's another question yenye inaweza ulizwa ili kuleta information gani ambayo tunaweza hitaji.
Is it okay to ask for the sake of more transparency? Are you affiliated to any ministry? Or we leave that? Just asking.
Wacha tuachane tuna hiyo. Because wacha tuipaki tu tujue tunadili na kanisa. Yeah. Otherwise, ministries which are here saying that they don't own churches. And actually, a ministry not own a church. It's a church to own a ministry.
But you can have even 10 members from different ministries in a single church.
There's no problem.
They are under that church.
Correct.
But you cannot have a ministry which is leading churches.
Correct.
So that one must be very clear even in the churches which are around. Maybe probably that must be very clear that a ministry is under church. And we can maybe probably here we have a member who is from a ministry and is under church. So I think that one will work better for the sake, not one day someone to wake up and say, this is my church and I'm going to eat with it to North Korea.
But Chair, there's something very important. I don't know we are seeing, but remember the organization existing worldwide. We have what if a church is already in organization of SDCR? You want to put it into organization, and another church is in organization of VSDA International. You want to bring it again to be organized, and this is a different organization.
That's
what
you have forgotten.
So I'm saying, these churches, there are some which can be affiliated. Remember, we realized kuna Korani, kuna hypocrisy, kuna these guys. So even if you're not going to write it, but let those who are going have that clear information in their mind that they're able to give their observations, personal observations of the community into the what? Into that interim to help.
Asante, ningependa kusema hivi kwamba these other organizations, Brother Maxwell, you're thinking about, they did not have representations here. So we said we start with those who have sent representations, meaning that they need some form of unit. We are trying to kuchokoza watu ambao wako organized kivyao. otherwise unaweza ingia territory ya watu ukiwe mawe. Right together. It means in the first place they are not interested in the unity you are talking about. So kindly achana nao, wacha waendelee. Sisi wacha tuende na hao ambao wameshow interest. Na kama kutakuwa na barua ya kuuliza kama mko na interest, are we together? Yeah, na sitakubaliwa. Watukubali mwene simtaenda. Wakikataa msikuje hapa sisi tuko organize, kindly don't go. You are not going to preach, kazi yetu kwenda ku preach. You are going to
That is
don't go. Hapo kuna vita. Wale wakusaidia na nyinyi mko saidia kufuta mtaambiwa mmekuja kuiba watu hapa. Mmekuja kuiba. Don't go. Tunataka kanisa iko neutral ambayo itawaambia tuko tayari kuingia katika muungano, basi kuja kwetu, basi hao ndio mtaenda kuita.
Mwalimu pia 50-50 ni kwa nini? Probably mimi ninaongea through experience. Ninataka nirudie hii. Nilienda Meru na Meru wakati nilipofika kulikuwa na vikundi ngapi?
Viwili
kwa kanisa moja. Ambao hawa wanaamini ya kwamba hii iko hivi na hii iko hivi. So probably hao ni watu hata hawatakuja kukaa pamoja hata baadaye. It is not a big issue ya kwamba hao watu wanaweza wale, kwa sababu now you can deal with individuals. Ya kwamba mimi siko comfortable. Nadhania tu wewe tulikuwa na wewe GC huko chini South Mugirango. Kanisa ya GC kuna GC na kuna NCC. Na NCC wanakaa pande hii, GC wanakaa pande hii. Wakakaa mpaka ikafika wakaona hapa hatuwezi, hii kanisa tunasumbuana. Huyu wao wameleta mhubiri wao, hao wameleta mhubiri wao. Na waambiani, sasa yule mhubiri anafika pulpit wa kwanza ndio. Ni ukweli ama ni uongo?
Ni ukweli.
Sasa ilikuwa ni mvurutano, hawawezi kuongeleshana kama wewe ile group wenu hiyo group wenu group. Na baadaye nini walifanya? Walisema sasa tunatoka nje ya kanisa, hii kanisa tumejenga sisi wote, tunafunga. Walifunga kanisa, group moja ikaenda huku, ingine huku, lakini wanaangaliana wengine wasirudi kwa kanisa waambia pale. Sasa ilikuwa hivyo. Wakiita makambi wale wanaita yao, hawa wanaita yao. Sasa ninataka uangalie mahali kama hapo. Kama unaweza ukaenda, kuna ile Mungu anaweza akakuwa amekutuma pale, angalau kuna wale watasikia. Kwa sababu nakumbuka tukifanya visitation, siku na wale walikuwa wanatuambia ati unajua wale watu ni wapi. Sasa tunawauliza kati yenu nani wazuri. Sasa hapo unaweza ukaangalia hao watu ukiwakalisha chini, unaweza ukawafundisha waamini.
Asante. Hiyo ni maneno ya kuhubiri na evangelist, ndio kazi yao.
Sasa hiyo ndio wakati wanaenda wakipata issue kama hiyo, tusiseme hao wachana nao. Jaribu sasa kutafuta mbinu vile watafiki.
Kama watawaita. Kama watawaita wafike wapate that situation on the ground, then they should be as wise as serpents.
So under the template, it means you put comments on the team. That's simple. Yeah. And the template, they'll be the two rather than going, they'll have remarks. Yeah. They'll have a section for remarks down there.
Comments, needs, observations of interviewer, interviewee.
Kuna neno inasema tafuta upate. Kisha ufunguliwe. Hadi usiende kutokosa watu. Usichokoze watu. Mtu ambao anahitaji neno anamtafuta. Na mtu anatafutanga neno la Mungu. Lakini ikihubiriwa mtu akikuja hapo analeta na neno la Mungu. Kwa hivyo kuna wakati mwingine unaweza poteza wakati kwa mahali huko kwa unaenda. Au unaweza enda kazi yako na kusuliwa na mtu unakuwa mmuti ya porojo mpaka kazi inapotea. Kwa hivyo tulenge ile kitu tulikuwa tunafanya.
So we avoid the language. Wale wanaenda kuzunguka waziende kuhubiri tafadhali.
Nilikuwa na second huyo mzee kwamba huwezi enda mahali kuna vita uone kwa sababu sisi tunaungana kwa sababu ya ukweli. Unaweza enda huko kuja na Jesuit. Kuja kutuvuruga hapa na ulezi tushaungana kwa ukweli. Sasa wacha kwanza sisi tuungane, tuone kama tuko sawa. Mwenye atataka kuungana na sisi ndio tuende kuchukua. Lakini usiende kuleta Jesuit.
Lakini tusisahau tunaenda kuja na ripoti ya kwamba hao watu wanaweza wakakuja. Sisi hata si mahali tulikuwa tumeenda tulikuwa tunafanya door to door evangelism. Sasa maishu zina rise. Tutawachilia hizo issues tuseme malizeni shida zenu. Ni kutafuta mbinu ya kufanya nini? So hivyo Maxwell anasema tukienda mahali kama hapo tupate hao watu tufanyaje? Tuambie siku zile mtamaliza kupigana mtakuja mtutafute.
Actually,
si ni kurudisha report.
It's again coincidence that watu mmechaguliwa you are evangelists. Nyinyi wahubiri ambao mmefanya kuhubiri kila mahali mambo mlokutana nayo. So kindly pray to God awape wisdom ya kuweza kuingia
ya kurudisha report.
Na kuleta
chanzo moja na mwisho ni county na sub county. Shida ya Kenya ni kwamba there are 290 constituencies. The number of sub counties inaongezeka. Mimi nafanya kazi numerous colleagues iko ngapi? Wakati kwa 333 sasa hivi inaongezeka. So sub county ni shida.
What to make constituency?
Constituency 290. Sawa rahisi. Asante.
Hata ile na sub county kwa sababu constituency ni sub county.
No, but they divide sometimes. I understand what you're saying. A sub county, a constituency can have 2 sub counties.
So nafikiria wacha niulize sasa ili tuweze kuondoka katika hiyo hoja, tuweze break time imeenda. Now, how many of us agree that the brethren who are chosen, now I think they should be able to rise up wajulikane. Kuna brother Njau, brother Justin, brother Maxwell, and brother Tito Bilgen. Tito Bilgen is not around, he's out on commission. So those are the 3 brethren who have been mandated to go around with the form trying to collect data and information on various churches that need organization as we start this journey to organize ourselves and have unity of Christ. Sante, Nezaka. So those are the brethren. How many of us accept that the form that has been drafted by the people who were given the authority to, and the letter which was read should be the one or documents that they should be using? Wangapi tunakubaliana kwamba waende na hizo forms na right, all of us we will accept that. So except a few have not raised, so it's anonymous letter. It's normal that we will accept all of us. Okay, I think kufikia hapo request. Yes.
But why do you type those members? Elders when you up and ministers of raising churches waende.
I think tulisema
So that you tufuate tu hiyo.
Tulisema hiyo. That's what we said. Thank you for reminding us. It has been typed already. They are going to be printed. I think hata sasa tunaweza tafuta kitu kidogo tupatie ni elder. Akimbia hapo mahali kuna cyber, ka print if there's no printer hapa kwa sanitarium. So at least the copies can come and the people who have attended, they can go with copies.
I hope there's something in there and I hope you missed it.
You did document here.
That the letters following gospel order are written to the churches through the elders. I think that is important to note. The letters are written to the churches through the elders. So I hope that it is good to start appreciating gospel order.
We hope elders will not keep them for themselves.
Amen.
They are meant for churches.
So the letters for the church is through the elders. Of course you cannot say
Love the elders.
Or they don't
worry about elders.
Brother elder
You think negative, it might affect you.
Okay, another issue before we pray. Basi naona hakuna jambo lingine. Brother Koech, you can finish with naona brother Andrew anataka kucontribute kitu.
Tu kulingana na asante chama, kulingana na vile hao watumishi wanaoendelea kwa hiyo sekta ya kutafuta ama kuleta hizo collection nyingi. Maxwell atanisaidia kidogo kwa upande wa kuna group ambao huenda kwa upande wetu, sijui kama tunaweka kando ama sijui tunaweka leta, kwa sababu hiyo alikuwa anafanya nini, sijui Maxwell ataweza kunisaidia. Kuna group nyingine ambao watatembea kule nyumbani, sijui ilipangwa wanafikiria
inaenda mpaka upande wenu. Sijui itaweza kufanya hiyo pollution ita collide na hii ama hii tofauti na hiyo kumaanisha hiyo inaendelea. Hiyo inaendelea.
Or is asking about the regional organizations.
Yeah. Those organizations which were there in the Swahili and Olinda.
Yeah. Visitation hiyo. Visitation ile ya mwezi wa
revival week.
Yeah, revival week.
Or see, it remains the 17th and the 3rd, it is there.
The way they are. Mpaka wakuwa kitu kimoja, basi kutoka hapo sasa vitu itaanza kuenda kutoka hapo.
There's something that I've forgotten. You had explained about how this previously until when they somehow work together up to 1860, when they now formed a formal organization called Seventh Adventist Church. And you are saying that now we begin from there. So I was asking, are we supposed to begin from back there, or we have I think we have a sufficient example and everything written down, organization already presented upon us, that we're supposed to build on that and move forward. Are we now supposed to begin from where we began?
We are doing that, for example.
No, it's say that this meeting, we are drawing that example from where we came from.
Because there's a text which says in the 2SM that the history is going to be rehearsed.
Because of apostasy.
Exactly.
Okay, does it mean that every other time we want to do some information and come back to the right place, we now begin from there? I think we are just supposed to follow what was written as the example.
Exactly. I think we are saying the same thing.
The same thing.
You are saying exactly.
No, we are not saying the same thing. What I'm saying is that we already have an example, the structure.
Yes.
So I think what we are supposed to be doing is going back to that foundation.
Exactly.
That's what we are doing.
But drawing from what they were doing before they got there. Because already we acknowledge that we were in apostasy.
Okay.
So we are trying to trace back to where that platform that had been created by them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beginning with the true doctrines.
Yes.
And then accepting the positions they had
yes.
in terms of structure. How many weekly meetings did they do? All those things. The apostasy imetuleta hapa.
There's one thing that we are not going to do.
Yeah.
Having committees to study on some matter of doctrine.
Yeah.
So hapo hatuko because already we have something. Foundation iko imejengwa ni kurepair, si ndio? Na kuisimamisha. So tuko na foundation imejengwa imeisha. So sisi hatuendi kujenga ni kurepair. Sasa ni kuangalia sasa tumekuja pamoja. Wewe uko hapa, let's repair this. Iko nasema mna hii. So tunasimama katika hii. So studying ni wrong time. That's why tumeafoid ili tuweze kuendelea, tuweze kuweka miundo misingi na tuweze kufikia mahali ambapo sasa tunafanya msasa. Piga msasa. Sasa fulani anasema hivi, anasema labda dikoneza hafai kuwa, anasema labda kijana hafai kuwa elder. So what we do? Delegates are sent, they meet together, they study, and I think there is nothing new to be brought on board. Ni kurudi katika ile ambayo ilikuwa imewekwa, study it, look at it, accept it, like let us to the churches. This is what we have accepted.
Now that's what I was talking about.
Thank you.
Going back to what has been written,
yes,
and then trying to solve the problem.
Sure, thank you. That is it. You're right. Nafikiria kufikia hapo hatuna mkono mwingine. Brother Dickson Koech, you can finish with the word of prayer.
Basi kabla tunaomba, tunashukuru kama kanisa la Soi kwa kufikia kuja kwa mkutano huu, na tunafikiria sana kuhusu kitabu cha Mathayo, inasema ili wapatanishi kwa maana
tutaitwa na Mungu.
Sasa tumeitwa watoto wa Mungu, kanisa la Soi. Mungu awabariki. Baba wetu wa mbinguni, tunashukuru wakati huu kwa ajili ya kikao hiki ya siku tatu ambayo tumekuwa katika sehemu hii kwa ajili ya ombi la Yesu Kristo aliloomba katika kitabu cha Yohana 17. Kwa hakika tumeona mkono wako na tunahakikisha kwamba uko pamoja nasi. Yale yote ambayo tumezungumzia ni kwa sababu ya uongozi wa Roho wako Mtakatifu. Watumishi hao wametoka sehemu mbalimbali, wakuishi hata tunapokaribia Sabato hii, sote tuweze kuwa na umoja huo, tukishukuru na kushukuru jina lako. Hebu dhambi na makosa yetu yote ambayo tumetenda nje na mapenzi yako usamehe, na tukufanye mbele zako kila wakati. Ni ombi letu katika Kristo Bwana wetu. Amen.